Hey Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today to share with you my first sketch for the SpiegelMom Scraps sketch challenge. Pardon me. That is the sketch that we just saw, and this is the layout that I created based on that sketch. I used my November Cocoa Daisy kits, and I created this sketch, and it is a challenge. So if you go over to the SpiegelMom Scraps blog or 15 Minutes with SpiegelMom Scraps, you can see that sketch, and please be sure to play along and enter. You do not need to have sequins or any of the things that Jody sells to participate. So the sketch calls for actually four horizontal strips that create a box within the 12 by 12 piece of paper. And so I have the striped paper from the kit, and I love the way that the vellum sitting on the cream sort of mimicked that striped paper. And so that was the foundation of the layout. And then I have this picture. It's my shadow and my first Starbucks holiday beverage. And I knew I wanted to use this card that says, "All I need is coffee and twinkle lights" to go with it. And I wanted to back the card because it was white, and I don't mind white and cream together. In fact, I like white and cream together. I think that the cream gives the white an extra pop, but I needed to back the card, and so I used a scrap of that red with the falling snow on it. You could see I had a die cut with holly leaves, and if you've watched any of my previous videos, I've tried really hard to use that. I thought I was going to use it on a layout, didn't like it, and saved it thinking it would work on something else. Well, yeah, no, didn't work. And I have more of these. It's just cardstock that complements the green in the kit really well, and I use a Tim Holtz die and die cut some Christmas florals, foliage really, to go with the layout. Now I'm just sort of digging through my embellishments to find something to embellish the layout with, and I came across these tags, and I thought they would be fun instead of a strip to create a strip of the tags. And I thought about sticking them back in because I was like, oh, that's such a waste of the tags. And I was like, but why? You've got 5 million of them, and they'll just sit there if you don't use them. So just use them. Suck it up, Suzanna. So I sucked it up, and I decided to put them across the top of that layout. And then I liked that pop of blue, which is just the salvage strip. And then I wanted to use these poinsettias, and I will fussy cut them later, but I just cut them out from the paper so that you could see how the rest of the layout is built. And I just deleted the fussy cutting part because otherwise this video would go on forever. So you see the idea of where they are and how they're going to be incorporated into the layout as I build it. So I had that. It's very hard to see, but there's a very faint yellow star from the chipboard pieces. And now I'm going to trim down. Originally, I was going to not do the layout as the sketch called for, and I was going to go all the way across instead of leaving a half-inch border on either side, but I decided that I needed to do that. So that I just trimmed everything down, and by putting all of those other pieces on, it allowed me to cut the correct proportions for that vellum because I really didn't know what it was going to be. So I put the top strip down, and I just used my ruler to make sure that that was straight. And then these those labels, or yeah, I guess labels, are longer than the 11-inch width of the stripes. So I had two options. I could let them go all the way, which I thought was kind of cool, but it took away the boxy perspective that I was going for, and so I trimmed each label so that it would fit in the 11-inch width of everything else that was going to be contained within that square. So I literally just trimmed a little bit of each one off and then stuck those down. I really like the way that the labels looked. I had thought of nestling something, an embellishment or a star or something in each of the labels to sort of give them a purpose, but that they kind of looked cool just the way they were. Sorry for my big old head in there. You're going to see my head a couple times in this video. Some of the smaller elements, you have to get right over them in order to make sure that they're lined up the way that they need to be. So there's quite a few of these, so in each one I had to trim the end off for the symmetry of it. And I could have used my scissors, but for some reason I'm having a hard time cutting straight. And so the trimmer, while that doesn't cut straight either, it cuts a whole lot straighter than I do. And there's that last label going in there. And then I'm going to put this blue strip down the bottom. I really like that pop of blue that just brings a little more color. The thing is that it's a little wider than the labels, and I wanted the symmetry between the top and the bottom. So I make the mistake of using my trimmer, and you can see it cuts asymmetrically. So I'm going to have to get my X-Acto and just even that off. There we go. And get my ATG and just adhere that down. So then I have the foundations of the top and the bottom, which then allows me to figure out how much of that vellum I need to cut so that I get the exact proportions that I'm looking for. And I'm just going to use a pencil to mark that off. All I really need is top to bottom because I know that the width is 11 from all the other elements that I've worked with. So I'll trim that and trim off the outer edge. Move all my goodies, and voila. Don't those stripes in the vellum look great with the stripes on the top, the header, and the footer of the layout? I really like that. So a lot of people ask about vellum and adhering vellum. I directly put this Prima planner pen glue stick on the vellum, adhered it down, and when you look at the close-ups, you can't see the adhesive at all. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect for vellum. Perfect for lots of things. You'll notice that my ATG and that Prima glue pen are my primary adhesives that I use, along with my Scotch Quick Dry. So I had the stickers from the Cocoa Daisy kit, and I thought that I might use some of them, but they really didn't go. I didn't need the sticker that already said all I need is coffee and twinkle lights. So, because I had that on the card. And then I played with a couple of the print and cut files and abandoned most of those as well. You'll see that red, it says Be Merry. It's a tag from the print and cut files from Cocoa Daisy. I just like that green holly. I really want to use that tag somewhere, and I still haven't found a good home for it. So I have a red border around that pocket card, and it's very bright. And I decided that I needed just a little bit of red to pull that together just to the left-hand side of that picture there, just to give you the illusion that it's a 6x4 card. It also sort of makes the red less of a pop. It's more of an element than a pop per se. So that worked well for me. Only you will see that I don't know that that piece of red snow to close off that 6x4 is straight, because it's not straight with the dots and it's not straight with the photo. I don't know, maybe my photo doesn't have right angles on it. Who knows? It's a little bit off, but I'll live with it. My type A highlighted, bolded, underlined personality will learn to live with that. So now I will finish building the elements of the layout. I had the main idea of how things were going to go, but I needed to finish how these poinsettias were going to get incorporated into the layout. And there's that Be Merry that I really wanted to fit in and just couldn't fit in. And so I use a few of those leaves. They're a little more subtle than the other things that I have there. and that's just me skipping to because I had done the fussy cutting. Now these are not part of the kit. These are something that Arlay offered. They're a free download from her Facebook page, and I love them for journaling. Sometimes it's nice to just have a fun little label, and this worked perfectly off the side of that photo there, and it just gave me a small little spot to put some journaling. I could have journaled in the labels going across the top, but I really liked that label there and how it pulled a little bit more white in to tie that whole cluster together. So now I'm going to commit to all these things and glue them down. And you'll see as I go up to that top poinsettia that I end up adding a third leaf there. I like the way that poinsettia at the top right just it adds some balance in the weight to the layout, because again I have a lot of weight at the bottom left hand corner, and it needed something at that top right corner to sort of tie everything in together. This is an unusual layout for me in that I usually put 3 trios, and I only have 2 of those poinsettias. So now this is the SpiegelMom Scraps that I'm including on this layout. It is one of the new sequence mixes from November, and it is called Happy Winter. The colors, the greens and the reddy pinks, go perfectly with this collection, or I should say kit from Cocoa Daisy. So I stuck 3 on the bottom of the photo, which they're subtle, and 3 to look like the twinkle lights with the coffee on the pocket card, and then 3 up by that poinsettia up the top there. And I did not put them on top of the dots that were already there. So now it's time to do some title work. And when I had the red chipboard stickers, letter stickers, I found a couple of other little elements to stick on there. So there's another light yellow heart that matches the one that was by the pocket card, and another heart. So I found these in the kit are these Evilicious stickers, and so I loved Latte because that's what I was drinking, was a latte, and I struggle with the alignment of stickers sometimes, and so I wanted these to be sitting on the shelf, but then I realized that you couldn't see them, so I moved them down a little bit, and they were still hard to see, so it was best to have them all the way down on the white where it was a lot easier to read them. And you can see I use my tweezers. It's the easiest way to get these paper thin letters up and down. And there's my big old head again. Sorry, I'm working on the straightness of these letters. And then I'll finish off the title with I knew I was going to use a heart. There we go. Love me, and I need an A. Love me a latte. And these are the close-ups. So we would love to have you join us for this sketch challenge. It's a new challenge. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.